I have no answer. I don't know what to say. You can't make me. It is what it is. Too much, too soon, the pressure, the horror, why me? Here's a question that might be hard to answer. It's subjective, of course, but I'd love to know what your answer would be. Feel free to comment as always. Let's get into today's episode of Listen In with Lindsey. Listen In with Lindsey. Hey guys, welcome to today's episode of Listen In with Lindsey. I'm your host, Lindsey, an award-winning singer and voice actress who loves talking all things music, cartoons, TV, anime with you. If you do enjoy my content, don't forget to like, share, subscribe, and comment to keep up to date with all of the fun. Now, there's a moment every Studio Ghibli fan experiences. It usually happens late at night. You're scrolling, rewatching clips, listening to music from the films, and the question shows up again. What is the best Studio Ghibli movie? Not your favorite, not the first one you saw, the best one. And every single time you think you have an answer, another movie quietly disproves it. Because Studio Ghibli doesn't make movies that compete with each other. They make movies that grow with you. And today I want to talk about why that question is so hard, so very hard to answer, and what the answer actually says about us as people. But first, a quick word from our sponsors. This episode is sponsored by me. My creativity, vision, and drive to create wonderful, glorious kids content for the next generation. My current project is a preschool sing-along starring a giraffe named Gigi who sings and plays with all her colorful preschool pals. We have 13 fun kids songs available to download and stream. And guys, we even have fun vinyls and CDs. If you have a little one that needs some color and music in their life, then head on over to elrodco.com/GigiBrand. That's elrodco.com/GigiBrand. Enjoy! So yeah, here's why best is the wrong starting point. Most studios aim for consistency. Ghibli doesn't. Some Ghibli films are loud. Some are nearly silent. Some are joyful. Some are devastating. If this were a normal studio, that would be a weakness. For Ghibli, it's kind of the point. So when we ask which one is the best, what we're really asking is which Ghibli film most perfectly captures humanity, time, nature, change, emotion, and that depends entirely on when you're watching. This is Hayao Miyazaki's philosophy without the myth. To understand Ghibli, we need to understand Miyazaki. I mean, as much as we can through his work. But I speculate that he's not the version people mythologize. Here's what I see. Miyazaki isn't an optimist. He's not a cynic either. He believes the world is, beautiful. Humans are destructive, but life is worth loving anyway. And that contradiction lives in every Ghibli film. That's why these movies don't feel like lessons. They feel like observations, which is really great. We don't feel like we're being talked down to. And the best Ghibli movie is the one that expresses that contradiction most clearly. We start with our childhood Ghibli, wonder without explanation. Let's start where most people do. My Neighbor Totoro. It's Totoro, right? My Neighbor Totoro. Totoro? Totoro. Totoro is often dismissed as simple. That's a mistake. Big mistake. Huge. Totoro understands something rare. Children don't need explanations. They need reassurance. To feel safe. There's no villain, no climax, no resolution in the traditional sense at least. Life just continues. Totoro might not be the best Ghibli movie. It's really good though. But it might be the most emotionally accurate description, more like a depiction of childhood ever animated. And that alone makes it essential. As we're growing up Ghibli, we are finding our place with Kiki's delivery service. This movie becomes more powerful the older you get. And as a kid, it's about a witch flying. As an adult, it's about burnout, creative paralysis, losing confidence. Kiki doesn't defeat an enemy. She regains belief in herself. If best means most relatable, Kiki deserves the conversation. Now, the transition films between fantasy and reality. Whisper of the Heart, This is one of Ghibli's most overlooked masterpieces. No magic, no war, no spirits, just a terrifying question. What if I'm not special? Dun, dun, dun. This movie understands adolescence better than most live action films do. It doesn't say, you're destined for greatness. No. It says, you have to work for meaning. For some people, this is the most honest Ghibli film. And honestly, that matters. Let's explore the environmental epics. Nausicaa of the Valley of the Wind. This is where Ghibli's moral backbone begins. Nausicaa doesn't conquer nature, but rather listens to it. This movie rejects the idea that humans are heroes by default. If best means most foundational, Nausicaa cannot be ignored. Princess Mononoke, classic. This is the film where Ghibli refuses to take sides. Nature is violent, humans are desperate, progress destroys and saves at the same time. No one is wrong, no one is right. Mononoke asks its audience to grow up, understand nuance, look at things from different angles. If best means most challenging, Mononoke is near the top. Now, the film everyone calls the best. Spirited Away. Truly a fan favorite. There's a reason this movie dominates the conversation. Spirited Away works on every level. Visual, emotional, symbolic, cultural. It's really a coming-of-age story disguised as, I guess, a fever dream. Chihiro doesn't become powerful. She becomes capable. She learns how to exist in a world that doesn't care about her comfort. If best means most complete, most universal, most timeless, then Spirited Away might be the closest thing to an answer. But what happens when love, fear, and war enter the conversation? You get Howl's Moving Castle, of course. This movie is emotionally chaotic, and that's why it works. It's about fear of aging, fear of commitment, fear of war, fear of being seen. Sophie's transformation isn't magic. It's psychological. Howl is not a hero. He's someone running from responsibility. If best means most emotionally expressive, Howl belongs here. Now, for some realistic Ghibli, when fantasy disappears, only yesterday. This movie doesn't comfort you. It really confronts you. It asks, did you abandon who you were, or did you grow into who you needed to be? This is Ghibli for adults who thought they'd have answers by now. But spoiler alert, you don't. What a cruel joke, life. This movie is really great. When we talk grief, loss, and memory, we have to bring up none other than Grave of the Fireflies. Oh, my heartstrings. This is not an easy film. No. It's not one people casually rewatch, but it may be the most important Ghibli film. It refuses to romanticize suffering. It refuses spectacle. It exists to be remembered and not enjoyed. If best means most impactful, this film stands alone. It pulls at my heartstrings every single time. The most fragile masterpiece. Yes. Gosh, I really love this one. The Tale of Princess Kaguya. This film feels like it could vanish. The art looks unfinished because life is unfinished. Kaguya isn't tragic because of what happens to her. She's tragic because she understands beauty and knows it won't last. If best means most honest about impermanence, Kaguya may be unmatched. So which one is the best? Here's the truth. There is no best Studio Ghibli movie. There is only the one you needed when you needed it. That's why people argue about this endlessly, because they're not arguing about movies, they're arguing about themselves and what hits home. Okay, here's the closest thing to an answer. But if we have to redefine best as the film that contains wonder, fear, growth, silence, humanity, then yes, Spirited Away is probably the closest answer. Not because it's perfect, but because it understands that growing up is confusing, and that's really okay. Here are my final thoughts. Studio Ghibli doesn't make movies to be ranked. They make movies to be revisited. And the fact that we keep asking this question means, well, they succeeded. So I'll ask you, not for your favorite Ghibli movie, but the one that found you at the right moment. That might be the real answer. Thanks for watching, you guys. As always, don't forget to like, share, subscribe, and we will talk soon. Bye! If you love talking about these Ghibli films and growing up Ghibli, then you're going to love some of my other episodes. I'll leave links in the descriptions to some episodes I think you'll enjoy. Hope to see you there. Bye! Listen in with Lindsey.